Welcome back to another video, everyone. I'm just doing it again in this kind of casual way. I want to talk about something that I think is really important and really impactful, just really quickly with you, just really off the cuff and kind of in flow. And I know a lot of you like this kind of more casual video, along with the other ones as well, but I also enjoy throwing in videos like this that are a little bit different. Just I'm sitting on my porch right now. You can kind of see some of the trees and everything in the background. I just want to talk about an idea because this is something I do every single day, and I might make a more in-depth video on this or a more kind of edited video on this because I think it's a very important idea. But this is going to slide off. Let me just fix this. But I want to cover it a little bit here for you as well. And so, there are a few things, and this came up because I was talking to my accountability partner about this. I have a friend of mine, and we essentially meet every single week to keep each other accountable on certain things, to discuss our kind of growth that we're going through. We'll tell each other we're going to do this and we're going to do this, but next time we meet, and we're really trying to bring more of this into our lives, or we did this thing that we're not too happy with, and we kind of want to adjust it, and it just keeps us on our toes and keeps us in this mentality of continuing to grow and all of this different stuff, and it's been very beneficial, and that's a great idea too. Like if that's something you want to take on board and run with and find an accountability partner that's a similar energy to you, a similar place as you, I think that can be very beneficial. But that's not what this video is about. This is just how it came up for me. Because we were discussing this idea of daily rituals, and it's really made me think about this because when I look at my own growth, one of the biggest things that has helped me to grow in every area of my life, and because I'm at a point right now where so many different areas of my life are just on an upward trajectory. Not only in the sense of in a physical manifestation type of way, like, oh, more subscribers on this channel, more money coming in, more health, but also in just the way I see things. So even if I have days where those things aren't necessarily visibly growing, I still feel fine. I still feel really good. I'm still able to maintain my energy. And I was talking to my accountability partner, whose name is Sam, about this, and because we were talking about also he's going to introduce some things into his life, and it made me think of just how important and how impactful having what I'm just going to call a non-negotiable daily ritual can be, because one of the things I emphasize on a lot of the videos I do on here is this idea of, especially when we talk about law of attraction and bringing more of what you want into your life, being able to live life in your way, which I think everyone wants to do. I go over this idea of you don't get what you necessarily want. So you say you want this, you want that. You don't get that. You get what you are. And I also talk about how you demonstrate who you are, what you are to the universe. And you are always your choices. You're always basically the energy that exudes, that is transmitted based on what you're doing. Now, your actions or what you do is also, that also means how you think, the energy you release, your how you speak. But what I'm getting at is one of the biggest changes that I saw when all of the things in my life started to really start moving more in an upward trajectory in just everything was when I started introducing these daily rituals and having this non-negotiable daily ritual. And so what it is for me, and I'll go over mine, and again, I might make another maybe more edited video on this kind of thing because I think that would be pretty cool. But it's what I typically do every single day, because of the place I live, and it wouldn't really matter where I live, is I have a beach right up the road. So I have a little scooter, you can't see it, and I don't want to move the camera because it kept slipping off. I finally have it stable. But I take the scooter, I go to the beach, it takes me literally a minute or so to get there. And every single day I go on this beach, and this is my non-negotiable. This is the thing I will start my day with. I might, a lot of times I go get coffee with my girlfriend Lily before this. But then after that, I will immediately come home off to the beach to do this. And I do a few things while I'm there. The first thing I do is I do a thankfulness gratitude practice, and this can take anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. And I'll explain why, because a lot of people sometimes, I believe, will think like, well, that's a lot of time. How, what, I got to do this, I got to do that. Well, I'm gonna cover that and get into that, and why that's something you might want to shift out of thinking and change, or I will invite you to, based on the results I'm getting from this. So I talk about my thankfulness practice, or I do my thankfulness practice. I just I just let it flow. And I gone over this before. I try and be thankful for everything. I go, thank you for my hands, my feet, my heart, my body, everything. And I really try and hook into the energy as best I can when doing this. So I'm hooking into gratitude and appreciation and to love and to abundance and all these different emotions. And because I'm doing it for usually at least 10 minutes, I'm always there by the end of it at least. Usually I'm there pretty quickly because I'm used to doing it, right? So I do that. Then I do something called Qigong, which is essentially these little kind of movements and practices you can do. It's an ancient tradition, ancient practice, Eastern practice that you can do that works with energy. So I do a few movements that I like to do, and that doesn't take long. That takes maybe 10 minutes, and I'll do that, and that really helps calm me. That really helps me direct my energy in the way that I want. And then I will do the practice I mentioned on this channel before called Remember the Future, where essentially I'm doing a spoken out loud visualization, speaking the life that I'm aiming to attract to myself as if it has already occurred. And I'm living in it now, and I'm looking back at present day as though it's already, I'm already somewhere in the future, right? And so I do that, and what's so powerful about that to me is it lines me up with the energy of what I'm speaking, which then makes it way more likely that I will take the actions that are actually going to bring those things into my present day reality, right? And I can, I have another video where you can watch a little more explanation on that. It's a very powerful exercise, and I do that every single day. It keeps me really focused, and it gets me really excited for what I'm going to do. It even gives me ideas and inspiration on what to do, because I'm opening myself up when I'm doing it. I'm really flowing with it. And then I'll do like a quick little jog on the beach. So usually what I'll do is when I'm doing my practices, I'll kind of walk down the beach and do them as I'm walking, and then I will, wherever I've parked my bike, I'll run back. If it's too short a distance, I might run past and then back or whatever. But I get a little bit of a nice little waking up of my body as well, because I've done the light kind of soft practice of Qigong. At least the type of practices I do are more soft practices, because there's also Qigong methods where you're doing hardening practices. That's not what I'm doing, not yet. So I'm doing more soft Qigong and soft energy flow kind of stuff, and then I go for a run at the very end. Now, this all seems very simple and almost inconsequential, but I really do believe this kind of stuff is changing my life and is one of the biggest reasons why things are moving just more in an upward trajectory every single day with pretty much everything that I do. And because this morning ritual gives me the grounding I need to go into the day from the energy I want to go into the day with, and to essentially set me up for a day well lived. This philosophy of a day well lived, I really believe if you're having, almost every single day, a day well lived based on how you define that, then you're going to have weeks well lived, months well lived, years well lived, and before you know it, you're just living a life well lived, and it's automatic, and that's where it's starting to go for me. And I think having this non-negotiable ritual in the morning, you can call it a morning routine, morning rituals, where I have these specific things that I know that right now in my present reality are very powerful for me. A year from now, I might be doing different things. But what I do know is that right now, in this moment, that the things I'm doing are what I've been drawn to, and I believe the most powerful for me in this moment. Again, this can shift and adapt, and I'm open to it doing so. But I keep it as my non-negotiable because I know when I do these things, my days are much better. When I do these things, I'm way more in my heart. When I do these things, I have less distractions in my life. I'm more crystal clear. I'm more open to the universe, speaking to the universe, communicating to the universe, coming from a place of love, showing up in the way that I want to show up. And it's all coming from showing my priorities through action. And so what do I mean by that? Because a lot of people, I believe, they'll be offered the advice of meditating. I said that weird, meditating. They will be offered the advice of doing maybe a visualization practice or a gratitude practice or whatever else it is. And there's usually, if they believe it would help, the most common objection to it is, I don't have time. And of course, that's the biggest lie that's ever, it's the biggest lie to yourself you can really ever tell you, because everyone has the same amount of time. I know you've heard that. Everyone has the exact same amount of time. Your choices reveal your priorities, right? Your choices will reveal your priorities. So yes, for example, I have days where I get up a little bit late, it doesn't happen as often, but sometimes I might get a little bit up late. Like today, I usually tend to get up later. It's Monday as I'm recording this, because on Sunday, I don't have my typical night routine. I meet with my accountability partner. I then meet with my parents. I talk to them because I live in Thailand. I like to be able to talk to them most weeks, and we'll just kind of like, just catch up and connect. And it usually sometimes, like, I was talking to my dad for like 2 hours last night, until almost midnight. And that's not always typical, but of course it's going to throw a bit of a wrench in my night routine, in the sense of I'm not going to get up as early today. And so today I got up at around 9 instead of getting up at around maybe 7 when I would typically get up, or even a little earlier. And so it's very easy on those days, for example today, to go, you know what? I'm up later. I have work to do. I have videos I want to create. I'm going to skip my, and this is why we call it a non-negotiable. So you don't skip it, but I'm going to skip my ritual, and instead skip right to my work, right? Because usually by this time I would be into my work. I'd be already into it. And we've been taught that, the things that are the most productive, the things that there are direct correlations to success to, or at least you're told, are more important than your own self-care, are more important than the rituals that you intuitively know make the biggest difference in your life. But because not as many people have experienced that, or maybe you can't directly say, oh, this has led to so much of this in my life, you can't directly like prove it, so to speak, in the typical ways that people prove things, you go, oh, well, maybe I'll just go right to my work. But I've made a deal with myself where I say, I don't care what time I get up, I don't care what's going on, I am not skipping this routine. And it will be, outside of, again, maybe getting some coffee in the morning right away, or whatever, I will not do anything before it. I will not start work before it. I will not do the things that require me to be in a certain energy. Because imagine if I came onto these videos in a certain energy. I come in on these videos in a rushed energy, or I'm going against the clock and I need to get it done. I need to make it happen, when I'm trying to, talk about and convey, and promote this idea of coming from your heart. And then in the actual videos, I'm not coming from my heart, because I haven't taken the time to do the things that I know put me there, right? That I know are the choices I can make and prioritize to put me in that energy that I choose to live my life in, that I intentionally want to live my life in more and more and more. And so, this has made probably one of the most profound just impacts in my life, is prioritizing. Well, I don't know why I'm saying weird. Meditating, prioritizing these practices. The practices that allow me to be in the state I want to be in, that allow me to ground myself, to have the foundation of the emotions, the energy and motion that I want to be in, the state that I want to be in. Because you can do two things, the exact same thing, and do them in two completely different ways from different energies. You could do a thing from love, or you could do a thing almost from apathy, because you're against the clock and you're rushing and you're like, I gotta get this done. Which do you think is going to produce the more aligned result? Which is going to represent you in the way that you want to be represented, that you want to transmit into the universe? And if that's what you want, to have the more heart-centered actions, heart-centered days, and all that, then you need to almost, in a way, it's not about proving it, but showing that it's a priority through your actions. Because it's very easy to speak it, and a lot of people might speak it even without the energy behind it. It's a little hard to speak it with the energy behind it, but still, you can get there pretty easily. But it comes full circle when you show that it's a priority through your actions. And so what I would invite you to do is to look at how is it you want to show up every single day. We are our daily choices. We are the culmination of our actions, our thoughts, our words, and the energy attached to all of it that we give to it, right? That is the culmination of who we are. It's not what we are, but it is definitely who we see ourselves as. It's definitely who we are. And if we want to move closer to what we are and kind of almost have our identity be more coming from that place, which is when you're getting closer to these states like enlightenment and all these other things, then you have to choose those things more often than not, right? You can't just say them. That's a start. That's definitely the place to begin. But it's the same thing, like I said earlier, about you don't get what you want, you get what you are. You get who you are reflected back to you. And in the same way, you can't just like, it's not like the genie in the bottle, like some people have been saying, although I don't think they necessarily meant it as like like that, like exactly like you rub a genie, you say it and it comes, through just words. In the same way, it's all of your being. What is it you're transmitting through all of your being? You are communicating more than just through words. You are communicating through your beingness. You are communicating through your energy, through your presence, through your actions. Actions reveal priorities. If someone says they want to be healthy, and they keep going on about how they're going to be healthy, and they read this article and they give you all this facts about being healthy, and then let's say you've never met this person, you've only seen maybe comments, or you don't even know what they look like, whatever, and you're like, this person's probably really healthy. Then you see them and they're overweight and they're just clearly, they can't run for more than a few minutes without being out of breath, all this different stuff. You go, well, this person talks a big game, but they're not really healthy, because if they were, they would prioritize the things that would allow them to live from a place of health. And so for anyone, if you want to live from a place of love, from your heart, you have to prioritize the things that put you in your heart. If you want to live from a place of abundance and actually live in abundance, you have to prioritize the things that allow you to feel abundance and put you in that state and move throughout your day in that state, taking actions from that state. You see where I'm getting, right? Having that complete congruence of being aligned to whatever it is that you are choosing to be more often than not. And again, getting back to the original point, having this daily non-negotiable, meaning it doesn't matter how you're feeling, it doesn't matter how late you get up or whatever else it is, it doesn't matter how important you think the other things that are going on are. And again, this isn't to feel guilty if you miss it, because I mean, I'm sure there are days like I've missed it before, and then you just do your best again, and you reset and you go again. But this can change everything. And so I could go on forever, because I can feel that I could go on forever here, but I think you get the idea. And so what I would invite you to do, as my phone battery dies, so even my phone's like, come on, move it along. So what I would invite you to do is really take a look within yourself, really feel out, think about, ask yourself, and see what comes up. How do you want to show up every single day, right now? Don't worry about 3 years from now, just right now. How do you feel you want to show up in your life? What is it you do want in your life? What does that dream life to you look like right now? And then also ask yourself, what are the things I can do on a daily basis? What are the things I can do from almost a spiritual aspect, connecting to myself? What is the inner work I can do every single day that is going to allow me to tap into the energy, the state, the emotion, the beingness of what will allow me to live in that way? And then once you identify that, and it doesn't have to take long, you could already know. You could already maybe even have ideas coming up now going like, I know I should be meditating every single day. I know I should be starting my day with a meditation or a gratitude practice or a yoga or a workout or whatever it is. It's just so important to me, right? The results that those things come from, the energy I'm in when I'm doing those things. And then it's about just making it a non-negotiable. And I can tell you, even on days like today where I've started a bit later, I again, because I woke up later, we still went to get coffee. I went to the beach and I was there even a little bit longer than I would be normally. Usually it's an hour. I think I was there for a little longer, like an hour and more. Because I've taken myself out of this, I've also taken myself out of this, I'm going to cut it short. Because again, it to me is the most important thing. It is the priority. It doesn't get cut short. Everything else is secondary to it. So it sometimes even goes on longer. There's a famous saying, and actually my accountability partner reminded me of this, and I don't know the exact quote, but essentially it is, it's like a Buddhist saying or something, and it said, something like a teacher or a master told a student to meditate for 20 minutes every single day, and I think an objection came up. It's like, well, I don't have the time to meditate 20 minutes every day. I said, oh, okay. Okay, for you then, you're going to meditate an hour every single day. And essentially what it's saying is, if you think you don't have the time to meditate 20 minutes every day, meditate for an hour every single day. Because what they're getting at is what you will realize when you're meditating more is that you absolutely have the time, but it's just because you haven't tapped into this stuff enough that you don't realize the importance of it, that it should be a priority, how much it's going to impact your life. And so, again, identify what that is for you and create that non-negotiable As in, there's no way you don't talk your way out of it. You're gonna do it every single day, and I dare you not to change. I dare you almost not to see change in your life when you do it. And it's been such a contribution to my life in just amazing ways. And again, it will evolve over time, but I look forward to it every day. I go to the beach, I do these things, and I come away just feeling unbelievable. And I take that unbelievable feeling, that divine energy that I'm tapping into, that love energy I'm tapping into, and I take it into the rest of my day. I take it into videos such as this. And despite it being 21 minutes long so far, or however long it is, it allows me to come to the table in everything I do with that level of energy, which is how I want to show up. And that would be very, very difficult to do if I didn't have this ritual, these routines, that reveal that my priority is to truly do that, right? If you ever want to know if someone is really behind what they say, just look at their actions, look at their choices. Again, you wouldn't want to learn from a personal trainer that weighs 300 pounds. You wouldn't want to, I used to have a gym teacher, I think, and I remember he would make us run a lot, and it used to be a bit comical because he was one of the least in shape people that I'd ever met. And it was always like, you're fine, you're like you're a teenager doing it, you don't think about these things, but it's kind of funny, right? Because I would never ever learn from someone like that now in that arena, in the same way that I wouldn't learn how to make money from someone who's always broke. I wouldn't get relationship advice from someone who's been divorced maybe 4 times, or unless like there's some huge change that happened, or who's always struggling in relationships, right? Actions very much reveal priorities, and you can't really fake that with the universe. And so if you want to be in these energies, in these states, whatever else it is, show it. Show the universe that you mean it through your action. Again, words, thoughts, great as well. You need all of it, but it completes the cycle when it's your thoughts match it, your words are matching it, but that should compel you to also take the action that corresponds, that is correlated with those thoughts and those words, and the energy ultimately that goes with that. So anyway, I'm gonna be quiet now because I wanted this to be a 10-minute video, but again, I want to make sure when I tap into the flow of these things, that I follow that flow all the way to the end. And I know some of you do get to the end of these videos and you do appreciate it, and you are able to hook into the energy that I'm in, and hopefully that I'm conveying, and hopefully bringing you into and lifting you to, or you're just already matching in these videos. But I think we'll end it there. Anyway, again, make sure you're doing the exercises I gave you if you do want to see some change in this area in your life. It's not enough just, again, to hook into this energy. You want to actually manifest that physically, then you have to show priority through actions. Anyway, I'm going to stop it there. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I love you. Let me know if you made it to the end if you want to. I'd be interested to see who's watched this all the way through. Anyway, once again, I love you, and I will see you in the next video.